Hello, my name is Bret Boteler, founder and president of EnerMax Inc. At EnerMax, our mission is to provide high-quality prospects to our partners and to create long-term relationships with those who become involved with our company.
State-of-the-art technologies, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on World Business Review.
Welcome back. Domestic oil drilling may be good for the U.S. economy, but knowing where to drill has become increasingly difficult. Here with us today is Bret Boteler, president of EnerMax. Welcome, Bret.
Thanks, General. It's an honor to be here.
Also joining us is Jordan Goodman, our in-studio correspondent. Welcome, Jordan. It's great to have you here. You always add a lot to the discussion.
Great to be with you, General.
Bret, how does domestic oil and gas drilling affect the U.S.?
Domestic drilling stimulates the economy in several ways. It creates jobs for the landmen that lease the property that we drill our wells on, which in turn creates new income opportunities for the landowners. It also creates contracts for the heavy equipment contractors that prepare our drill sites and secures contracts for the drilling companies that drill our wells.
Makes sense.
What is EnerMax doing to improve the way you explore for oil and gas?
We are applying advanced technology to our geophysical, geological, and drilling operations to assist us in extracting oil and gas from hard-to-reach places.
For more, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
Domestic oil and gas production are an essential part of our nation's economy and security. Recently, in an effort to reduce overhead and increase profits, several major oil companies have announced that they are leaving the U.S. to concentrate their operations overseas. To fill this gap, small independent oil companies now drill approximately 85% of our nation's wells.
The site was chosen because it allows us to utilize advanced drilling and recovery techniques that will maximize the economic viability of the project.
Advanced directional drilling and recovery techniques are allowing oil and gas to be extracted from areas previously thought to have been depleted of their reserves.
The directional tools, drill for going horizontal, which allows us to be able to steer and log as we drill, and that way we can have the best chance of being in the fault systems to make a productive well.
Using these advanced directional tools, companies like EnerMax are able to isolate and penetrate reservoirs that have been left behind using conventional drilling methods and recovery techniques.
We're drilling opposing laterals, one 1,500, one 3,000. The purpose of that is to get as most production out of the well as possible.
As the need to protect precious resources increases, forward-thinking companies such as EnerMax use state-of-the-art technology and provide an economical approach to oil and gas drilling. For World Business Review, I'm Michael Clark reporting.
How do you identify where you want to drill? It's so important these days to figuring out where you have the best chance of hitting oil and gas.
Well, Jordan, the first thing we do is focus on areas that have a history of producing commercial quantities of oil and natural gas. We then apply 3D seismic imaging to identify and evaluate potential oil and gas reservoirs.
Tell us a little bit about the technology you're using when you're drilling these wells. You have some very innovative technology. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we do. The primary thing that we do, Jordan, is we take our 3D seismic data sets, we reprocess them with advanced technology. What this does, it enhances the clarity of the subsurface structures that we're encountering and consequently increases our success rates.
Bret, let me just ask you about something. The seismic data is really important today. And you said you have a lot of seismic scientists working for you.
We do.
How has that improved? How has the kind of use of seismic technology improved the success rate you have with your wells?
Well, there's really been two improvements, and both are as important as the other. There's been an improvement in the way that 3D seismic is shot today, but there's also been an improvement in the way that we reprocess that seismic data that was shot 5 or 10 years ago.
Well, what criteria are you using to evaluate the quality of your drilling solution?
The main way that we measure our success of our solution is through the amount of reserves that we discover. but most importantly, our reputation within the industry.
You've talked about the seismic techniques you use to find oil in the first place, but what are some of the innovative drilling techniques you use to actually go and get the oil?
Well, fortunately, with today's technology, there is a variety of advanced technologies which allow us to steer and guide our drill bits to hard-to-reach places. In the old days, your target reservoir was located directly beneath your drill site location. Today, it doesn't matter where your drill site location is. With technology, you can put your drill bit exactly where you want it.
You were talking about you can put the drill bit wherever you like. Now, apparently you can do it vertically, but you can do it horizontally as well. Kind of tell us how that works. How are you going to find the oil based on where the oil is with the drill bits today?
Okay. The first thing we do is look at our seismic data, identify that reservoir, evaluate the economic potential of that reservoir, and there's two ways we can drill horizontally. One is with a grassroots well, which means we start from the beginning, drill a new vertical well bore, and then guide the bit in a horizontal direction. Another way that we can drill a horizontal well is to take an existing vertical well that was drilled with yesterday's technology, mill a window in the side of that vertical well bore, and then drill out horizontally into that reservoir. And we can drill up to 3,000, 4,000 feet horizontally.
Amazing. Bret, how are exploratory and developmental wells different?
Exploratory wells are typically the first well drilled in a new area, and they're drilled to discover producing oil and gas fields. Once you discover a producing oil and gas field, you then drill developmental wells, which are used to accelerate the production of those newly discovered fields.
What types of inherent risks or challenges does the oil and gas industry face?
There are three primary risks that we face: geological, mechanical, and production. Geological risk, which determine whether or not your reservoirs contain commercial quantities of oil and gas, are evaluated prior to drilling your wells. Mechanical risk are dealt with while you're drilling wells, and production risk are dealt with after you have discovered a commercially productive oil and gas reservoir.
Now, weather must be a factor for you. If you have good or bad weather, how does that affect your operations?
Well, weather can dictate whether or not we can prepare our drill sites for the arrival of a rig. It also dictates whether or not we can mobilize a rig from one location to the other. And if inclement weather exists while we're drilling a well, we have to evaluate the safety of our personnel. And if they're in danger, we suspend operations temporarily.
So, Bret, what was the driving force behind EnerMax?
I wanted to create a company that could assist the U.S. economy in meeting the growing demands of domestic oil and gas consumption today.
Bret, how is EnerMax organized to challenge your top competitor?
We are proactive in all areas of operations, which makes us a very strong and agile company.
What does the future hold for your business?
I see an increase or a continued increase in advancements in technology that applies to geophysics and drilling, which will allow us to continue to extract oil and gas that was left behind from traditional drilling and recovery methods.
Well, Bret, thank you very much for being here and addressing this, what is a very, very important subject to our country.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
And Jordan, as always, thank you for being here. You always add a great deal to the discussion.
Thanks so much. Appreciate being here, General.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Norman Schwarzkopf.